Being really naughty again today. I had a little breakfast cake, breakfast pastry. Well, if the French can do it, so can I. I am starving today. So there's a kind of marker over here. I'm just going to go and see what's going on with it, because I'm just going to stand up, because it looks like it's kind of shouldn't be there. Let's go and have a little closer look. And we might even go and recover it and take it back to the club. So notice how I'm approaching this. The tide is coming from left to right as we're looking. So I'm going to come this side of this, because, you know, it might be marking a hazard. And what we'll do is we'll approach it into the current, into the wind, so we don't get, you know, we don't drift onto it. There we go. You have a lot more control of the boat if you're into the current and wind. I mean, you don't get much current here. There is a little bit of wind picking up, actually. You might be able to see little gusts appearing. There we go. So that's like a racing marker buoy. There is one over there, and that one looks really close to the shoreline as well. Just come away a little bit. The other thing you've got to be careful of is getting your propeller caught up in them. So I thought that was right on the shore, but because it's not, I'm going to leave it. Maybe we'll go and have a little look at the other one as well. Oh, I always get my throttle wrong on this. It's because it's the opposite way round to how a motorbike one works, and I actually do motorcycle, and I think it's years of going like this, and this is actually the other way round. So that way is reverse on here, whereas normally that would be go for me. So maybe there's a way of turning that round or altering it. I bet there is, actually. Before I get too used to this, and then I'm totally confused. So it's actually quite cold today. I've got my shorts on. I forgot my sailing shorts actually, so I'm just in my normal Adidas shorts today. I've got my fleece on and a t-shirt, and of course the life jacket does help, but oh, there's a little, the breeze has just picked up, and it's a little bit unpleasant, especially when you're going into the wind. So I've got my gloves on. On my right hand, I've got this swim glove, which was something I bought very early, very cheap pair. These were £10, neoprene, standard neoprene swim glove. On my left hand, I've got the these are the Aura boating gloves. I don't think these are neoprene. Well, they kind of are. So I'm going to give them a test now. I'd say first impressions are, it's interesting. The Aura seems warmer in the hand, but a bit cooler on the fingertips. This one's the kind of opposite, weirdly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip this one in the water and see if by trapping some water in it, it'll actually be a bit warmer. So let's have a look. We'll do that. Make sure we just get it nice and wet. There we go. So we've trapped a bit of water in there. My hand is thoroughly wet now. The idea is with just get us back on course. The idea is with a wetsuit glove that you trap the water, and the water gets warmed by your body, and then that warm water warms you up, and so on. So we'll see how that goes. So it's been a few minutes now. this hand's definitely warmed up a little bit. It's not bad actually. I imagine if you're in the water, these would be really useful, because your hands, when you go swimming in a lake, even in the summer, you can get quite cold, especially your extremities, your feet and your hands. This glove is, my hands are still a bit cold in it, but just seems to work more like a glove. I don't really want to get this one wet because just in case. I did wear these gloves though when I did my powerboat level 2 course, and that was in November last year on the River Mersey, and they got soaked, you know, got soaking wet, so they must have done the job, because, you know, my hands were warm, and I did spend large periods of that time, you know, not doing much, whilst the other 2 guys were doing their, you know, doing their training. We swapped around. So yeah, so maybe I do need a little bit of water in these to warm them up a bit. Now I've just said that, holding this one in the air, more in the wind, my hand's gone a little bit cold now in this one. So yeah, it is quite cold. It's about 8 degrees at the moment, so that's, you know, even for the UK, that's pretty cold. And because it's April, the water is freezing. It's like 5 degrees apparently, the water at the moment, so you do not want to be going in there without a wetsuit on or a dry suit, because that's not nice really. So we've just motored across the lake. You may just be able to make out the yellow buoy we just marker we've just been at, and we've gone all the way across the lake to have a look at this one. I did notice this one was here last week, and this one looks like it's supposed to be here, yeah, so we'll give this a nice wide berth. And what I'm going to do, we're going to head over to the Adventure Centre dock, or jetty as it should be called, and because I've not been there this season, and we'll have a little look over there. Ah, here we are, look, end of boundary, Bala. So this is probably something to do with the Adventure Centre, maybe telling certain people where they can and can't go with hiring the canoes. So here we are at the docks, at this little jetty. Now I've just switched the engine off. What you must do when you're approaching the jetty is work out again where your wind and where the current is. So there's not much current here now, but the wind is still supposed to be coming from over there, but we know it's actually coming from more over this way. So we know that because we're looking at the boat, so they're sort of looking over that way. Yeah, and that flag's even flying roughly that way, because you can't really see much from the flag, but the boats tend to give it away. The other lesson, the other thing is just let your boat stand in the water, and I know my boat goes stern into wind, although there's nothing here, so that's not a good idea. But what we want to do is kind of dock into the wind, so we're going to be coming over here and coming round and facing out of the dock to dock. So we're going to be mooring this side. So what I'm going to do now is get my mooring line out. Oh, that's not my mooring line. Where's my little mooring line that I had? There it is. And we're going to do we're going to attach that, and then we're going to dock from that side. So I've got my mooring line ready. There's my bow line put in there. I've actually got my little fender on that side. We just drifted a little. You can see we're drifting this way. So let's motor in. Just got to be careful. We have got a fair bit of water in the lake at the moment, but oh, yeah, we're getting very shallow here. You have got to be careful. It's very shallow just here. So I'm just reversing, and then what we'll do, we'll put the anti-collision on here. What this does, it stops the motor from, you know, ripping the transom and whatnot. So We'll try again. I think it is a little bit deeper nearer the jetty, so we just need to come in a little bit closer. Oh, I can still see the bottom here. So the object is, oh, there's some ducks. Hello guys, nice to see you. We have got to be very careful at the bottom here. As you can see, we're getting very close. So I'm really being careful here, just to get us round. And you can see we're just coming around. Oh wow, gosh, there's rope down there. This is quite hazardous actually. The motor does go fairly deep. There we go. So look, we are actually a lot deeper here. So let's just turn the boat now. Just be careful. There we go. So we're in the right spot, and now we're facing into the wind, albeit not much. So all I'm going to do, oh, I'm trying to find a cleat. I can't find a cleat. There's one right on the end there. So we're going to do, whoopsie. All we're going to do is that. I'm going to get my line ready. So there's no cleat to put it on. And then, see, with boating, you just got to relax a little bit. That's the line I was after. Now normally there'd be a cleat here, and you could throw the line over the cleats and grab the cleats. So, you know, that's what we would normally do. There's so little wind today, especially here. So I'm just going to have to give a little bit of help to the boat. There we go. There we go. Just a little bit of reverse, because we weren't going to get anywhere. You can actually see there's some real nasty boulders down here, really close by. So I must remember that. A little tickle more. See, of course, the boat won't reverse so well. When it's got the anti-collision on. So we're gradually getting there, nice and easy. This will be all we need. We are going to potentially hit the engine on the ground, but what the heck. So now I can grab. The only problem I've got is I have to grab this. It's not really a cleat. It's there we go. So once we've got that in, we've got control of the boat, as you can see. Now let's see what happens. I'm going to sit in the boat. Let's see what happens now when we reverse very slowly. You can see the tip of the boat is coming in. And now we just pull in, and then the fender would normally, oh sorry, my fender slipped. The fender needs to be there on the boat, but really it's not going to work because we've got tyres there, and that's it. Now what that gives you, that's how really you should dock in a dinghy, or that's what I've been told. And the reason for that is that, you know, you can't run to the back, the stern or the bow. So get this in, get the boat secured, so I can then pull this in on the fender, and then I can get off the boat. And again, I could, in this instance, I don't have a cleat, so I have to rely on this one. And I'm going to do a proper cleat here. You don't put that little lock thing in. That'll do. And then you can get out the boat at your leisure now and attach a bow line, a bow line or a stern line, which is what you really need for the boat. But in the lake here, you just don't need, you just need to tie the boat off onto something, you know, especially when there's big fat rubber tyres. You're not going to damage the boat. So there we go. Now we've got to cast off from the jetty, and again in a dinghy, this is I mean, a dinghy's so small, you know, the rules don't really apply like they do with a bigger boat. I think the trick here will be to you know, to push the boat off enough that we're clear of all the water under here where there's a lot of rocks close to the surface, and then we will just engage the motor and off we'll go. If there was a bit of a current or we couldn't do that, there's a number of ways you could use it. You know, you've got your boat hook. You can always use your boat hook to push you off or grab things. That's exactly what it's for. You know, just extends your arm a little bit. The other thing I've got is my paddle, of course, so I could actually just literally take this rope out like this. Let's do that, and I could just paddle away. But at the moment I'm just looking at the fact there's no wind at all, and look, all we need to do is that. So as soon as we're clear of that big rock down there, we'll just put the motor on a tickle. There we go. And off we go. Don't forget to bring your fenders in. I'm just going to do that and pull them in tight there. They can make you look, apparently if you leave your fenders on your boat, on your yacht or your boat as you leave the harbour, makes you look like a really inexperienced sailor. But at worst you could lose them, or they could get tangled or damage something, so always bring your fenders in. I think it's the first time I've ever brought the fender with me on this boat. Look at that. These aircraft are constantly coming over here, I don't know, interrupting our videos. What do you do, hey? There he goes.